adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman, W4CY Radio, and I'm here with
Sam
and Dom.
And we're from Ithaca, all the way from London.
Wow. You know, there's a lot of UK bands at Aftershock.
For sure.
I just came back from there myself because I did Download and Bloodstock.
Nice.
And so I like to ask the UK artists, you know, since the UK and Europe, they really know how to do a festival. How do you like the Danny Wimmer festivals?
I mean, I think they're incredible, to be honest. Like,
right?
It's really like, it's such a different experience to the UK festivals, but like in a good, like the scale of it is insane. And also like, it's very American in a way that I really like. Like, I don't know, like the Marines are recruiting here and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I know, right?
Know, it's cool. It's
and
just
a lot of the Danny Wimmers also have the army, too.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely unlike any UK festival. Like, you went to Download, so you know it is like very different thing. That feels like in a good way, sort of like dirtier and grittier, and
especially when people are standing in the middle of the crowd and have to go to the bathroom and don't leave, they just pee right there.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that happen.
Yeah, we went at a European festival. A friend of mine saw someone throw up some noodles and then eat those noodles.
Oh god!
So I'm sorry to.
I saw someone shit into a plastic bottle and throw it at a band at a UK festival, so
wow.
like, I don't feel like you get that here. But
yeah, less. Everyone feels a bit more like polite and genteel and like well dressed and like less
you
animalistic.
Know, now it makes sense because way back in the 80s, Venom would come to the States.
Venom, yeah.
And Kronos would throw a bucket of piss on the crowd.
Yeah.
So now I know why.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's just the way we do it.
Yeah, and I mean, Dillinger Escape Plan played Reading Festival and famously took a shit on stage and were like, this is what you're going to see up here for the rest of the day. I was like, okay, that's so antagonistic. Yeah. I love it.
Well, how about The Who? Keith Moon used to or Pete Townsend would take a shit on his drums and he would eat it.
We've got a problem.
What's
I think.
wrong
I think there's
with
something
you
wrong
people?
with us. Yeah,
what's wrong with you people?
Like we're so repressed that the only way we can express ourselves is through shitting. Apparently,
this is our love language. You know?
I know, right?
Exactly. Yeah, get you a guy who can do both. You know. That's.
Oh my god, it is funny though, because like here in the States, if you just randomly as a guy pee somewhere, you could go to jail and get put on the sex offenders list.
Right, sure.
Okay, so you gotta go deep in the woods, make sure nobody can see you. And I'm there at Download, and it's like either A, they're just pissing wherever they want. They're all lining up against the wall next to the stage.
Common. Yeah, all on the artist posters as well, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's stupid. And the troughs. I don't like using those. I don't want to sit with a line of guys pissing, and then it's rolling down. So if you're on this side, you're catching everybody's piss.
Yeah, I mean, European toilets get a lot of stick. I think the trough's awful. In like mainland Europe, you get the ones with the shelf, which is terrible. Apparently, it's so you can inspect your waste to make sure that you've not got like a problem. But I don't need that. But I've had Americans calling out like European toilets all the time. Every time I've like toured with them, and we come here, and you have so much water in your toilet bowl that it's upsetting. It's just like you're gonna like drop into the water. I'm calling out US toilets.
Well, how about the porta potties?
Yeah.
How about
the next Revolutionary War is about the toilet. That's what you know.
I mean, poor women. Like I hear all the stories. They have to like stand up and like squat and not touch anything, and like hold on. And
it's a weapon of the patriarchy. You know.
I mean,
brutal.
I'm telling you. Somebody's got to make a change. Maybe it's you guys.
That's right. This is my campaign slogan.
Right.
The hill I will die on.
I think I got to run for president in 2024. And that's
marginally less water in the toilets.
Yes.
2024.
Those are my platforms.
You'll move, Biden.
I'll be like, I don't give a shit about walls. I don't give a shit about this.
Less water in the toilet,
just
make Mexico
less
pay for it.
water in the toilets and better porta potties.
Very good.
I think that's it.
I think I would win.
You got my vote.
Yeah.
So tell our listeners who have not listened to you before how you as an artist express your music, not from a genre, put you in a box standpoint, but how you look at your music or you want people to look at your music.
That's a really great question. I think in terms of what we're trying to communicate, I mean, I always give a little speech when we play shows where I talk about, like, for us, it's about more than just music, which I know every artist says that, but, like, for us, it's really, really true. Like, the record that we wrote during the pandemic and the record that came out last year, like, it really is a lot about trauma and about, like, coming into your trauma, but also actually the ability through inner work to come out of the other side. You know, like, it's not just about like there's a lot of trauma in metal and a lot of nihilism, but actually I feel very passionately about us not being a nihilistic band and about actually spreading a more positive message about the possibility of healing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going through trauma, healing is possible, like, recovery is possible, inner work is possible. Like, you can have health and healing and, like, a new life. You know what I mean? You don't have to be bound by your trauma. So I think, like, in many ways, that's one of the core underlying messages that's behind our last record, for certain.
I love that. Because, listen, there's people out there that think, oh, artists shouldn't get up there and talk, just play your music. Listen, yes, you absolutely fucking should.
Yeah.
You know, you have that pulpit, you have something to say, something people need to hear, and that's what music's all about.
I mean, we're not a punk band, but we all come from, like, the DIY scene, you know, hardcore bands, punk bands, that sort of stuff. And I think that ethos still is there. But if you have a platform, you need to use it. It's your responsibility to use it to try and better the world. Whereas, what's the point?
Exactly, 100%. For sure. And music is the best therapy for you as the artist and us as the listener, so why not?
Exactly. And the best thing about being on this tour, which is our first tour of the US, is that, like, I've chatted to so many people who really feel like they've connected with the music, which is not, I'm not gassing us up. It's just like, there's something about the message that we're trying to get across that people are like, if it's really landing here, I don't know about more so than in the UK, but, like, I think people need to hear that more optimistic message. I think people need to hear that it's not just about, like, nihilism or a kind of intrusive thoughts. That, the healing aspect is something that we're really trying to offer people.
Well,
you know?
I'm totally about that because I'm a big believer of mindset, positive thinking, and all that.
Totally.
And although I may like some lyrics and songs that, you know, deal with trauma and this and that, but it should be used for positive, not so you go into more of a depression or more anger or whatever. It's just like the mosh pit. The mosh pit is a healthy way to get out your aggression so you don't beat the shit out of somebody on the street.
Exactly. It's just catharsis. And that's when we're up on stage, that's what we're doing as well. Like, we can all be stressed out, dealing with horrible stuff, but then you get half an hour to just, you know, pop your pussy and go wild out. And it's just, it's good.
There you go. And it's funny, you were just talking, it made me think of some of the UK words that can't be said in America anymore.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You know, like, you guys love to use the word cunt. That's
we've chatted about this with our driver.
That's a big no-no here.
You know, shut down in America, but sometimes it slips out because it can just
well,
be
it's
a greeting,
part of you.
You know, it's just it's how you say hello.
It slips out. It slips out for me too, but it only has to do with my ex-wife.
I see. Well, that's a whole other conversation,
right?
yeah.
And then what's the other word? Fag. You can't say that in America anymore either.
I mean, you can't say that in the UK unless people use it for talking about cigarettes.
Right. That was I didn't even know that you used it for something else.
If you said it about something else, you'd get fucking wrecked.
I'm sure, but I never even knew you said it about something else. I thought it was just for cigarettes. So I'm like,
The queer community in the UK actually, like, uses the cigarette emoji quite a lot for that.
Oh,
very
really?
reason. Yeah.
It's, it comes from the same etymology for both of them because of, like, a faggot was like a bundle of sticks, and then they were like wanting to burn queer people. So, like, it's come from the same thing.
Look at that.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. See, you learn something new every day.
Absolutely.
Not just pretty faces, you know?
That's right.
Not even pretty faces.
And also not pretty faces.
That's
also
right.
really not.
You know what I want to ask about? The red string on your wrist.
Hell yeah. I'd be delighted to talk about it.
Tell me.
This is... are you familiar with the Indian festival of Raksha Bandhan? Have you ever heard of it? Raksha Bandhan?
No.
So this is my Rakhi. So I'm half Gujarati, and, like, my Indian side of my Indian heritage, as you said, I wear a chandler on stage. Like I wear a lot of stuff to represent my Indian heritage. It's something I'm very proud of. Like my Indian family is a very important part of my upbringing. This Rakhi is something that traditionally gets tied by a sibling, normally a female sibling, as a symbol of protection. It comes from an ancient story where, I think it was Ram tied it on Sita. Anyway, I don't know the story. I'm going to get called out and cancelled by who tied the original Rakhi in Raksha Bandhan.
Is it a Hindu thing?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But my family takes Rakhi very seriously because it's about the familial bond, right? Like my sister tied this on my wrist, and my cousins tied some as well. And you wear them until they fall off, and it's like until they fall off, you've got their like divine protection,
And you know why I asked you about that? Because first of all, I knew it had to do something like that,
totally.
But also two other reasons. One is related to that. When I was just in Bali, when I was leaving the hotel, they gave me and tied on my wrist.
Oh,
it
nice.
wasn't red though, but it was a string, and it was basically this represents,
totally.
Good luck in your travels and blah blah blah.
For sure.
But then the other thing is, I'm a Jew, and in Kabbalah, you also use a red string.
Right.
You use the same thing.
Hell yeah.
So I thought it was pretty cool after you explained it that, something like that could have similar meanings in different ethnicities to show that we are one race, the human race.
We really are. And like, for me, not to get super deep, but like, I wear this really proudly because my parents aren't around anymore. Like, I don't have a relationship with my dad. My mum has passed away. And so, like, my closeness with my sister is something that means so much to me. So, like, to be able to, like, carry her around with me is, like, a very powerful thing, It means so much. So, yeah.
See how good an interviewer I am that I picked
Look at that. You managed to get that. Right, Nardwar. What are we doing? Come on.
Yeah, how many people have interviewed you in all the time you've been around that asked you about that?
No, this is the first time I've been asked about my Rakhi. That is very good. Very good. So, big points.
Fuck the scripts. Just,
That's right. Do better, everyone else.
I know, right?
At all of them, pointing
just
all of them.
Look at... I do. If you notice, I look at things.
Honestly, it's very observant. Well done, dude. Most people, as you say, just don't notice. Or
there you go. And I'm glad I learned about it because I think in order for us to understand other people and be good humans, we have to learn about their cultures.
For sure.
Their religious beliefs. Like, I think it's bullshit to only know yours because how do you know... if even you're into yours unless you know other ones. Like I've studied all religions.
Yeah.
So my beliefs are based on knowing all of them, not just the one I was taught growing up.
Absolutely. And I think like there's a need for more cultural representation in this style of music. Like increasingly we're seeing bands who are wearing their tradition and their heritage more proudly. And I think that's like an amazing thing because like diversity of voices, diversity of representation, it enriches art. We'll get more interesting music if we have more people like wearing their heritage proudly. And I'm not, I don't think that just has to be like ethnic heritage, cultural heritage. It can be like class heritage, or it can be like all sorts of things. Like if you're Irish, or if you're like whatever, like if you have a tradition that you've grown up in, like an environment or a container that has like made you the musician you are, it's like wear it proudly, dude. Like live it. Like I don't know. Sorry.
Just like I think you should. No, just like I think you should wear it proudly. Like my second ex-wife, she's from the UK,
right?
And she always acted like she was like a royal. And then
she might have been. You never know.
Okay, well, when I tell you where she's from, you'll change your tune. All Newcastle.
Right. I like Newcastle, but I understand.
Not really the royal area.
That's what I've heard.
A great city.
That's what I've heard.
If Americans listening are visiting, Newcastle is really fun.
To be honest, all the UK big cities have like something really different to offer. I am proud to like live in Manchester. Like the rest of the guys live in London. I live in Manchester. And it's sick and it's really different, but Newcastle is wild, place unto itself.
Well, at least you're not from Birmingham because that I can understand you.
No, Well, even Newcastle, we struggle with, and Glaswegians.
Yeah. Glaswegians bad, but my family have moved to Birmingham, so my niece has been growing up there, and she's got a Brummie accent, and it's so weird. Like, shout out, I love you, Grace. Sorry if you ever hear this in like 10 years. But
you sound a mess, is what your uncle said.
Get it together.
You're not Uncle Dom. Is a bit of that?
Yeah.
Listen, I should have known better after listening to Ozzy, but the first time I was going to download, I was flying into Birmingham, and my London friends were like, "You're not going to understand a word they say." Right. I'm like, "Come on." I got off plane. I'm talking to people. I'm like, "Can you say that in Spanish?" Because I have no clue what you just said.
Google
Translate. It was like, and I'm like, "Okay, do you have a translator?"
Crazy. I used to work with a guy from the Scottish borders, and that so far is the most unintelligible accent I found in the UK, because he literally would come up to me and go, and I'd be like, "What?" And I'd be like, "Laurie, literally, can you say it slow?" It's like, "I'm going to the bathroom. Do you want anything?" And he'd have to talk to me like it was like a foreign language. It was ridiculous.
And now that you said it the slower way, I'm like, "Oh yeah, it did sound like that."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, I ran into that a little bit in like Mississippi and stuff here, like getting my ear into accents and stuff. But yeah, there's some wild ones in the UK, like truly bonkers. And it's such a small country, and to think that like you go 100 miles in one direction and it's just completely changed is mad.
Well, it's like I'm from New York and New Jersey, which is a very small state. Yeah. Every city has a different accent. I can tell what city they're from by their accent. Just like you guys can tell.
Yeah.
I go to UK.
When you get to the elite level, I believe, is when you can identify, for example, like the different boroughs of London. Right. So, like, I think I think if you tune your ear right, like North and South London have a different accent, and you can like hear, and they use different slang. Yeah. And it's like that's like 10 miles apart from each other. And everyone's
same
like,
with New York. Every borough is different.
All the boroughs,
totally. And even parts of the boroughs are different. Yeah, right. Like if you're closer to Queens, but you're in Brooklyn, you might have a mix.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have the Brooklyn, you wouldn't have the Queens, but a mix of both. Yeah. So I feel you. We copy you guys. That's probably what it is. We've been doing it for a few hundred years.
Indeed. Yeah.
Well, you guys rock. Tell everybody how they can reach out to you on socials, on the web, buy your merch, all that great stuff.
Yeah, so if you go to theyfearus.com, that's got links to everything we're doing, shows coming up, all our merch, everything like that. We're also Ithaca Band UK.
Just Ithaca Band on Insta.
Just Ithaca Band on Insta. I definitely know all our socials. So yeah, check us out.
And Ithaca UK on Facebook.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
That one, yeah.
So just go on theyfearus.com and then it'll take you.
Yeah, you'll find it all.
And you don't need to worry about it.
And for our listeners in Birmingham, can you translate all that to Birmingham?
All right, so we're going to go on the Ithaca social. If you're
no.
Going at ithacaband.com. No, that's shite. I lost it.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Okay. All right. Birmingham.
Theyfearus.com. No, I'm a beat all now.
Theyfearus.com. That's better. That's it. Theyfearus.com. There we go. Now we're in it.
Nice.
There you go.
Well, you guys
will be
rock.
very annoyed that we did that. Everyone
of course
from the whole Midlands region is going to be fuming.
They're going to be pissed. But, hey, oh well.
You live and you learn,
I know. Listen, it'll give them a reason to listen to your music because they're going to want to hate you. So they're going to want to listen to music to hate you. And then they're going to
go. Come to our shows and boo us.
They're going to go, oh my God, they're really freaking good. I guess I'll take whatever insults.
It's a strategy, yeah.
Yeah, see?
We've not tried it. Maybe it'll work.
Yeah.
That's right. See? And people make fun of Ozzy all the time, but he keeps getting more fans.
That's right.
So there it is. Well, thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman, and I hope to see you again.
Pleasure, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.